Hi, I'm Niko Ana Jeanne. Today we're going to talk about why you're not fully healed yet from narcissistic abuse trauma. Now, here's the missing piece, you guys. This is something I want to express to you with so much empathy and so much compassion because I know what this feels like. And there's a level of healing you can get to in your journey where maybe you've identified that you've been in a narcissistic relationship. Maybe you have put some boundaries in place. You've taken some steps towards healing. You've done a lot of work and you feel better. And maybe you have a better understanding of what you were dealing with. You really understand you were dealing with narcissistic personality disorder. It could be an ex-spouse. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. And what's happening is that you've gotten to this level and you find that you're still getting triggered. You're still a little bit tense and stressed. You're hitting a wall, in your healing journey. You have a greater potential and you know that it's there. And yet you feel blocked, you feel stuck. So it's not like you're just in a total crisis anymore, right? You've done a lot of work, but there's more. And you also know that your nervous system could be a lot calmer. So maybe you're having issues and you're struggling around, anxiety, having panic attacks, or just any expression of anxiety whatsoever, whatever that is for you, because it can be different for different people. And you feel like maybe it's coming back or it's not as controllable as it used to be. So what I'm going to tell you is that this is a level where what's happening is that you are trying to manage your relationship with a narcissist. You're trying to manage it in a way where maybe you have put some boundaries in place, but there's still not enough boundaries around this contact. Okay, and that really starts inside you. It starts within, is where the boundaries start. And there's some reasons why maybe you're doing this. There's a lot of reasons why, and they're very real and very valid, as in maybe you feel like you don't have a choice. Perhaps somehow you're tied to this person through finances. So you're still relying on this person as your source, which is the whole reason a narcissist has you snared. They have you, and they have you trapped when you rely on them as a source. You might also just feel somehow morally obligated to stay in a relationship with someone. If it's a family member, in your primary group, could be a parent, caregiver, a grandparent, a sibling, an aunt, it could be anybody. And you just feel like, well, I really should stay connected to this person because they're part of my family. And maybe there's part of you that still is holding on to that little bit of hope that one day it could be different. And maybe you feel like, because you've grown so much and you've done so much healing that you can somehow make up for the lack of their ability to navigate healthfully through a relationship with you. So those are some reasons. There's a lot of other reasons. Those are some main reasons. So what I'm going to say to you is that I'm not going to tell you that, okay, you've just got to stop right now and, go complete no contact and break off all ties. But what I'm going to tell you is that no matter how much you've grown and no matter how good you are at managing other people's problems, there's just no way you can make up for the narcissist's inability to meet you halfway. There's no way you can make up for their pathological way of thinking and being in the world and in relationships. They can be so manipulative and so charming and so, just appearing so innocent and vulnerable. And so many times people will end up going back into a relationship after they've had no contact or breaking contact, briefly because they think maybe there's a chance. And then they end up getting re-triggered again and they end up realizing, okay, no, this in fact is going to happen again. And then they're even more traumatized. So what happens is as we move into this stage, we start letting go of belief systems around who we should and shouldn't be in contact with based on, moral judgments, like because someone's a family member or because, I owe it to them or because, it's the right thing to do or because I can manage it and those types of things. I got to tell you, you can't manage it. You can't manage it. You think you can, But what you don't realize is that there's just this space it's in your field where you know that if this person can get to you, if you know they can get to you, no matter how long it's been since they waylaid you, no matter how long it's been, you still are on guard. I don't care if it's been years. There's something in your being that is on guard because you know this person isn't safe. And so you're going to get triggered all the time, even just in your own mind. You're going to have this kind of underlying sense of dread. You know, you never know when you look at your phone and you never know if it's going to be from that person, and if it's going to be something bad or something dangerous or something that feels threatening to your nervous system. Even if, you know, the only way they have contact through you is through email. Okay, so that's a level of modified contact, and that's where some people are. But even so, if you feel like when you check your inbox, there's still that little part of you that's like, oh God, I hope there's not a message from this person. Oh God, I hope I don't see a message from them. You know what I'm talking about right there? That right there is triggering your nervous system, and it's releasing those chemicals that are what's happening in the trauma bond. So in the trauma bond that you have with this person, if you are still getting triggered by the thought of them reaching out to you, you're still in a trauma bond. And those chemicals that are released by the body when you get triggered, your body's still craving it on some level. So what I'm going to say to you is that if you're able to make this choice, because it's a choice, if you're able to make the choice to completely sever all forms of contact with this person, then you can create a space for yourself where you're not going to get triggered by them. It's like a healing container. It's like a sabbatical. It's like going to a sanctuary. And when you do this, it's not that you're necessarily going to do this forever. That's the whole thing. Is like when you're thinking about doing this, I want you to just realize that making this choice right now doesn't mean you're going to hold this rigid boundary forever. We talked about this before, and some of the rights that you have when you're healing is that you have the right to set and change your boundaries based on your needs in the moment. So if you're able to create this sanctuary, this healing container for yourself, where then what happens is you're not going to get triggered from external sources, but then you're going to get triggered in yourself, because then you're going to go through the guilt and the shame and like the dynamic in your head. You're going to start having conversations with this person in your head, and your brain doesn't know the difference between if it's really happening and if it's happening inside your mind, if you're imagining it. And this is also part of the trauma bond. It's like a psychic bond. And I got to tell you, the only way to break this is to have that healing container for yourself. You've got to work that out within yourself. Yeah, and it's a lot more complex and deep, and then I can go into this video, but that's really like the overview of it. So to wrap, you guys, what I'm going to say is that if you feel like there's something missing in your healing journey, it's very, very likely, if you haven't already done this, that the next step for you would be to make a plan to go completely no contact with the narcissist in your life. If you would like some help with this, you know you can reach out to me. I actually do have a workshop coming up, a master workshop on going no contact and setting boundaries. So you can click the link in the info on this video and you can check it out. Hopefully you've subscribed. If not, please hit that button if you like it, if you get some benefit out of it. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.